Zimbabwe's ruling party, ZANU-PF, is facing one of its most volatile internal crises since the ousting of Robert Mugabe in 2017. At the heart of the storm are explosive corruption allegations leveled by former legislator Temba Mliswa against Vice President Constantino Chiwenga and George Charamba, Mnangagwa's longtime spokesperson. These revelations come amid a deepening factional rift between President Emmerson Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, threatening to destabilize the party's cohesion and governance. This is what Temba Mliswa had to say.
Exposing something tomorrow, something that talks to corruption, something that involves the Honorable Vice President, retired General Chiwenga, and his spokesperson, not the presidential spokesperson, but the spokesperson of the Vice President, George Charamba. The issue of corruption which he brought up is topical. Inini ndotore neshavi rekutsaga paneori kunyanya kudila nevakuru, not nevari pasi, because corruption starts at the top. But in starting at the top, toda kuona kuti ivo vakuru vacho vari kuda kurwisa corruption, are they corrupt free? Because aunga fight corruption will corrupt free. Zimbabwe.
On November 17, 2025, Temba Mliswa announced he would release a damning corruption dossier implicating Chiwenga and Charamba. The allegations center around misuse of state resources, manipulation of land deals, and personal enrichment. Mliswa accused Chiwenga of weaponizing anti-corruption rhetoric while being deeply involved in corrupt activities himself. He also targeted Charamba for allegedly defending false narratives about land ownership involving the Catholic Church, which the Church has since publicly disowned. Mliswa's exposé is not an isolated attack. It follows a series of social media posts and public statements in which he accused Chiwenga of receiving lavish gifts from businessman Wicknell Chivayo, including Rolls-Royces, cash for weddings and honeymoons, and real estate for his children. Mliswa claims these transactions were disguised as political patronage, but were, in fact, personal deals gone sour. Factionalism and the succession battle. The timing of Mliswa's revelations is critical. ZANU-PF is embroiled in a fierce succession battle, with Mnangagwa's camp pushing the controversial 2030 agenda to extend his presidency beyond constitutional limits. Chiwenga, once seen as Mnangagwa's natural successor, has increasingly been sidelined and assigned ceremonial roles, such as inspecting agricultural projects in Matabeleland South. The internal power struggle escalated when Chiwenga presented a corruption dossier at a ZANU-PF Politburo meeting, reportedly targeting Mnangagwa's allies. In response, Mnangagwa accused Chiwenga of incitement and treason, a charge that carries grave legal and political consequences under Zimbabwe's patriotic bill. Charamba's role and fallout. George Charamba, Mnangagwa's spokesperson, has found himself in the crossfire. Allegations suggest he may have helped craft Chiwenga's speech at the ZANU-PF annual conference, which subtly criticized Mnangagwa's leadership. Charamba's perceived shift in loyalty has triggered backlash from Mnangagwa's allies, including Mliswa, who accused him of betraying his principle and sabotaging the president from within. Charamba's history of surviving regime changes, having served under Mugabe and now Mnangagwa, has fueled suspicions that he is positioning himself for the next political transition. His combative online presence and silence during attacks on Mnangagwa have only intensified scrutiny. Strategic implications for ZANU-PF. The fallout from these allegations and factional tensions poses several strategic risks for ZANU-PF. 1. Institutional fragmentation. Chiwenga retains symbolic and organizational influence, especially within the military and war veterans. If Mnangagwa moves to expel or prosecute him, it could trigger defections resistance, or even a repeat of the 2017 coup scenario. 2. Security sector realignment. Mnangagwa may attempt to purge security officials loyal to Chiwenga. However, this risks backlash or silent resistance, potentially destabilizing the military and intelligence apparatus. 3. Governance paralysis. Chiwenga's patronage networks span ministries and agencies. If sidelined, these institutions may withhold cooperation, leading to service delivery failures and administrative gridlock. 4. Public discontent and unrest. The perception of elite corruption and infighting could fuel public anger, especially amid economic hardship. Protests or spontaneous mobilization in Chiwenga-aligned constituencies are plausible. 5. Opposition leverage. While the opposition remains fragmented, ZANU-PF's internal crisis could offer a rare opportunity for political realignment. If the ruling party appears corrupt and unstable, opposition forces may gain traction. Can ZANU-PF remove Chiwenga and Charamba without harm? Removing Chiwenga and Charamba is theoretically possible but fraught with risk. Mnangagwa's faction controls key levers of power, including the party's central organs and state media. However, Chiwenga's military background and residual influence make him a formidable opponent. A clean removal would require legal proceedings that appear legitimate, reassignment or retirement of loyalists in the security sector, control of the narrative through media and propaganda, economic stability to prevent public backlash. Yet each of these steps carries the risk of backlash, both internally and externally. International observers, including SADC and the AU, may intervene if the purge appears authoritarian or destabilizing. A party at a crossroads, ZANU-PF stands at a critical juncture. The confrontation between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, amplified by Mliswa's corruption allegations and Charamba's ambiguous loyalties, has exposed deep fractures within the party. Whether Mnangagwa can consolidate power without triggering a broader crisis remains uncertain. If Chiwenga is successfully neutralized, ZANU-PF may become more monolithic but less legitimate. If the purge fails or backfires, the party could fragment, opening the door to opposition gains or even regime change. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. We will soon be introducing memberships. Join and become the first to get exclusive information. Enjoy the rest of your day.